This website was completely built by AI, with Claude Code to be specific. A page like this used to take me days. Days of planning, structuring, coming up with a design concept. Well, this was done in a couple of hours. And the quality? Well, to be completely honest with you, I like the outcome of the AI better than a couple of projects that I made myself. After watching this video, you'll know exactly how I built the site that I just showed you, and you'll know the exact step-by-step process of how I am building client websites nowadays with the help of AI. First, we will come up with a strategy, then we let AI build the website out, and then we refine and polish things. 3 steps is all we need. So let's get started. All right, step number 1 is strategy. Without strategy, without like a proper foundation, you don't really get good results. That of course doesn't mean that we can't leverage AI to help us here. Because although I would consider myself a very smart person, I am nowhere nearly as smart as Claude Opus. So I made myself a little outline right here, a prompt builder basically, so Claude can understand the type of landing page and my business better, and therefore we get much better results, trust me. You don't want to skip this step. Okay, before we click onto here and select Opus, Sonnet isn't too bad, like not bad at all actually, but Opus is just even more capable. And then we fill in the blanks. So I'm building a landing page for in my case, I'll just use a fictional project. I thought about, yeah, why not make a landing page for a fitness app that is led by doctors. So basically you sign up, then you get a specific professional, a doctor assigned, and then they work with you on designing workout plans and nutrition plans. And they guide you through the entire process and keep you accountable. That's kind of the thing that I'm wanting to build. For a fitness app, oh no, the other way around. For FitGem, which is the name I made up, which is a fitness app for people that want to lose weight. And now I'm telling it to help me define a target audience, define the purpose of the website, what success looks on the website, the sections, and so on and so forth. See, and now Claude prompts me with questions to get a better understanding of what we're trying to build together. To some extent, I have to make things up now. Let me answer these questions, and I will see you in a minute. Right now I'm even going ahead and giving Claude a reference image of a website that I really like and that we can draw some inspiration from. Now Claude asked me a couple of more questions, so we'll do the exact same thing over again until it's happy. Perfect. Now Claude seems to be happy and I have the strategy summary right here. You will see this is quite long of a result you get, which is perfect. AI can absolutely read this and it's better to have more detail than too little. Now onto the technical part. So first off, we create a new folder, ideally with the name of your project. And now I go into Cursor where we built the entire site with AI. So we open the project, navigate into the folder we just created and open it up. Open the terminal and now we're in here. And now one important thing that I keep forgetting over and over again, it's to install the Playwright MCP. The Playwright MCP, basically what it does is it gives the AI the ability to look at your website live and interact with it, take screenshots to basically view it on the front end. So it's the eye of the AI, you could say. So I open up the GitHub of the Playwright MCP, scroll down to installation right over here, we use Claude Code, and therefore we simply copy this command over here, copy it, navigate back into cursor and paste it into here, and we're done. Playwright MCP installed. So we open up Claude, and here we go. It's time to prompt. Now, of course, we can't just take the strategy prompt and put it in here, but I want to build my site in a very structured and clean way. And because I'm lazy, I created the prompt to automate this process. I call it the one-click page builder. So what I'll do now is to take the strategy, copy the entire thing, and paste it into my one-click landing page builder. Now I go here into the strategy section and paste whatever Claude gave us in here. Of course, first read through it, check if you're happy with it. Otherwise, you could always go back into Claude and reprompt certain things to fit your criteria. What this prompt does is it helps Claude understand the base structure of how we want our website to work. Here specifically, it builds the entire website on top of a WordPress base, so that later on you can extend the website with extra functionalities like content management systems and all that to make it easier for you to navigate, and even for clients if you decide to hand it off to somebody else. I find WordPress just very convenient for that matter. I find this prompt super helpful. It speeds up my workflow by a ton because I don't always have to re-explain things to Claude how I want my website to work. If you want to use it for your own projects, you can check out the link in the video description below. Now we go ahead, copy it all, and paste it into Claude. You can see it right here, pasted text, 225 lines, and it does everything by itself. At least most of the time. Sometimes it asks you to either press yes or no, but I guess that's fine, considering that you don't have to do anything else. See you in a minute. Website is up and running. Let's have a look together. Don't be confused that I'm wearing something different. It simply is the next day. I let it run by itself yesterday for about 45 minutes, then it was done and the full website was built. I've already had a look at it. The result is quite nice. The site by itself is fine, but there is some tweaking to do. I think we could make a couple of sections a lot better, not just visually, but also with its impact. For example, what I am missing here is kind of a before and after section. So I will go ahead now, think this through, and then we will jump back into Claude and we will fix the issues that I have with the site right now. It's time for step 3, polish and refine. Overall, I'd say we're like 75% there, but there is still much room for growth. I will just continue adjusting the sections, the entire page, to what I think the page should look like, and then we'll do a before and after comparison. I bet it will blow your mind how much more we can get out of this site. The key is to not just use AI for building itself, but also for strategizing. And I'm talking about strategizing directly inside of Claude Code. Because who knows the context better than Claude Code himself, who just built the site. So for example, I have this really cool site right now, but to be honest, conversion-wise, I think the sections should be structured differently. And I will simply tell Claude my concern now. I like the sections that we have built so far together, but I am not sure if this is the right, if they are in the right order to maximize conversions. Can we discuss that? And then by hitting Shift and Tab, I put it into plan mode and now see what happens. It's actively taking a look at the site and rethinking our structure. All right, and because we've put it into plan mode, it now asks us questions. And it says, trust isn't established early enough, social proof comes too late, too much info before first CTA, not sure, want your recommendation. So we now can pick an answer. Personally, I'd say trust isn't established early enough and the social proof comes too late. I can only choose one here, so I'll just say trust isn't established early enough plus social proof comes too late. And I also think that the features are just way too hidden. The features come too late. Now it's thinking again. Remember to have some water in between these hour-long sessions. And once again, it's giving us feedback. We have two options of flows that it's suggesting. First, we have option A, a trust first flow, or B, a results first flow. Looking at this, I prefer option A because we do have the transformation like over here in the slider already. And this is basically how it goes. You have an idea, you're not quite sure if that is really the right direction, and then you just unfold the idea together with Claude. That's how you usually get the best results. Alright, so most of the thing is built now. It is about 6 hours later. It took me quite a while to really fix up all the sections. I'm gonna tell you about my experience in a little bit, but let's just first have a look at the new stage of the website. Yeah, I mean, if we compare this to the old version, there's been quite a change. I implemented a slider over here instead of the original, just one image with a badge. I found this transformation thing to be much more interesting. I generated these images with AI just to give you a clear showcase. And I find this quite effective. I ideated this myself and then prompted it to Claude, and Claude then went ahead and adjusted the section to my liking. When we scroll down, I haven't really changed much about this section because I really liked it the way it was. You can still see that there's like small errors in the JSAP animations when you scroll into the screen, like that works, for example, and then it pops just in that I still need to fix. So you really see it's like you get quite a good result on the first prompt, but then you have to go ahead and really adjust it to a T. So it's perfect. So when we scroll farther down, this page, this section also looks totally different from what it used to. Much more interesting in my opinion. The doctor's section is fixed. I also told the AI to add some placeholder images. It did that by itself. I didn't pull these images from the internet, Claude did. This is actually the section I like best, the features section. It's really fancy. So here's like personalized workouts with a nice animation interaction down here, like showcasing the personalized tasks. Then over here we have the custom nutrition, a meal planner over here, little indication. Of course, what you would often try to put here is actual images or actual UI components of the app itself. Of course, in my case, there is no app, so I had to make these things up. Same goes here with kind of the progress tracker. It's like nice micro interaction upon hovering. And down here, the last feature I like a lot. Really cool result. The biggest feature of the app I made up is that you have direct access to trainers, which are in fact doctors. So you can communicate with these doctors through chat or even video call. And these mockups, this thing right here, was all made by AI, which is crazy in my opinion. This is super complex. Like, that's not images. This is code. Same goes over here, like that animation, such as all the elements over here. Like, if you see it, if I hover that, there's even like another interaction. So this is really cool. Then when we go further down, still need to fix some spacing over here. Once I looked at the page, I felt like there was still something missing. So I thought we'll add a transformation kind of case study section, which is this one. AI actually built this all by itself. I didn't do anything. There's like one big featured case study, and then there's like 2 smaller ones on the bottom, and then one for start your transformation. Really nice page overall, but it really takes some time to debug, and you gotta be really specific, especially when the AI is running on high demand. There's just a lot of waiting time involved. Like, at some point I started watching a TV show on the side because I had to wait anyway for the AI to finish its work and for me to judge what it was doing. But I guess in the future that will just change. AI demand is on a rise like all the time, and the models are becoming more effective. So I predict that in the very near future this will work much faster, we will get even better results, and we won't be facing 15-minute long waiting times. Like, for example, over here right now, I just did a couple of changes. For example, it was like some layout was messed up and I wanted to change the button design. And because the demand during this time right now is so high, it took 20 minutes. Just that prompt alone. That's kind of the disadvantage of relying only on AI to build these kinds of sites. It's that you can't just make like these tiny adjustments over here. Like, I wanna make this spacing over here the same as the horizontal spacing. If I was in a website builder like Webflow, for example, I would just adjust this in a second. But due to the fact that we are not in Webflow right now, I have to prompt it, and that kind of takes away more of my time. On the flip side, with Webflow, I wouldn't have been able to create these types of custom interactions and cards, at least not in that amount of time and that precisely. Like, literally, AI came up with most of these ideas. I just said what the features were and it came up with that progress tracker, these mockups down here. It's amazing. But there is time involved, patience, and a little bit of custom work. You have to push Claude into the right direction, or otherwise the results will just be meh. The next stage would now be to connect this site to the CMS in the backend, which is WordPress. For example, if you're gonna go ahead and hand your AI coded site off to a client, they need to be able to make changes. And in order to do so, you typically use a CMS, a content management system. And because this is built on WordPress, it's just super simple. I could take these case studies, for example, create a CMS collection for them, and then the client could easily change the content, add new case studies through the backend without needing to touch the code of the site itself. If you want to check out how that works, click this video right here. And if you have found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.